Manipulators, by definition, push for situations where they win and you lose. They do this through deception, bullying, accusations, and a wide range of behaviors we've discussed in other videos. In today's video, I'm going to highlight 5 situations where you will smell manipulation, begin to see it happening, and here's what to say and do to regain your power. Get it? Got it? Scenario number 1, Airtime Hog. Manipulators love the sound of their own voice. And they steal airtime in conversations and meetings as a way to control the situation, and you do the following when you see and sense that you're dealing with an airtime hog. Point to the meeting outcome and hold up a mirror. We met today to discuss marketing plan options, and I'm seeing most of the discussion center around you, your struggles, and very little about the options I came prepared to discuss. If you say this in a calm, straightforward way, you accomplish 3 things with the outcome reference and mirror. First, it's powerful to stay grounded and emotionally neutral as you say what you see. This sends a strong signal to manipulators that you are a no BS person who stays focused on results, not on serving the narcissist's emotional needs. Second, when you speak what you're experiencing, you channel the power of transparency and staying grounded on data on what's actually happening. And third, you bring the person or group back to the result you all wanted in the first place. That brings us to the next situation. Scenario number 2, Accusation. Narcissists, manipulators, bullies, you name it, love to accuse people because it's a way to project their own inner crap onto other people. And it also puts other people back on their heels. As a supervisor, I was shocked when, during a conversation about the employee's issues, he started accusing me of being the worst supervisor he had ever had. Fortunately, I saw through the ploy quickly and regrouped. Laughing a little, I said, "Okay, you can share your evaluation of me as a supervisor later, but right now, we're focusing on how to get you back on track with your performance." Did you notice how I used the meeting outcome? We're focusing on your performance and how to get it back on track. But look, a squirrel. Let's stay focused on the outcome. Like the previous example, when you stay focused on the original meeting outcome, you show power that you won't be derailed easily. Again, if you can stay emotionally neutral, you retain the power that you lose when you get angry. Manipulators look for people they can control. They're less likely to see you as a viable target when you stay in your power. That brings us to the next situation, and that is scenario number 3, ignoring you. Yes, manipulators and narcissists will ignore you and keep on talking. I made the mistake of saying yes to a timeshare condo sales pitch. They promised 90 minutes, and we had already burned 2 hours. I held up the mirror. You said at the beginning that this would take 90 minutes, and we're now at the 2-hour mark. I paused to see his reaction, and he ignored me as he kept talking. Again, you are a powerful person when you keep your cool and examine options. I smiled, got up and started walking towards the exit. Where are you going? I was about to share an offer that we reserved for a few special customers. Again, I smiled and said, my time is valuable. I'm leaving now. I was about to learn that they don't let people go easily. The properties were remote by design. Shuttles ran every 90 minutes, and they thought they had me captive for another hour. The salesperson followed me as I searched for transportation options. We went long because you had so many questions. I smiled and said, I raised 3 questions. There was nothing unusual about my questions. I continued, I'm done here. How do I get back to town? After blustering about how I had lost the free gift he had promised to give me, he said another shuttle would be available in 60 minutes. I had attracted the attention of a manager who assured me that they would make it worth my time if I would listen a bit more while waiting for the next shuttle. I declined and called a taxi. It was expensive, but it was worth it to me to stay in my power. When you're being ignored, how do you access power? 3 things: stay calm, see your options, do what makes sense for you, and stick with it regardless of what they throw at you. If your spouse ignores you so they can stay in control, hold up the mirror and tell them what you're experiencing with as much data as possible. By data, I mean what you're actually seeing rather than your conclusions about it. Avoid labeling the other person while sticking to what you're seeing. I'm noticing that you ignored the point I just made. I don't know why you would do that, but I'm not interested in continuing this conversation. I had lunch with a person who's a textbook narcissist. I told him that I had a hard stop 1 hour after we agreed to meet. He was late, which was no problem, but again, I reminded him that I had another commitment at the top of the hour. With 5 minutes to go, I again let him know that I had to leave soon and to wrap up our conversation. He ignored me. I sensed it was because he was curious to see how much time he could get out of me. But what I knew for sure was that he didn't acknowledge my time commitment and kept talking. He continued to rattle on at the top of the hour as I got up and left. "Where are you going? We're not done yet." I smiled. As I've said very clearly, I have another commitment. I said nothing as he threw guilt/accusation at me. "You always do this. I bet you don't have another meeting," as I walked away. I stayed in my power because I was calm, didn't care if the relationship continued or not, and ignored him like a passing car ignores a barking dog. Oddly, he reached out to tap me for another lunch as if nothing had happened. I declined. Let's examine situation number 4, deception. It's weird how easily manipulators lie. With one, I knew she was lying if her mouth was open. If you know you're going to discuss a problem with a known narcissist, manipulator, or similar type of person, you have to do your homework before you meet with them. Then when they lie, you have a chance to redirect them or, in some cases, cut off the conversation. In one conversation, I knew the facts about what she did or didn't do, but I wanted to hear her explanation to see if I could trust her. I asked about the situation and she lied. I reminded her that I had done my homework and knew the facts. I asked if she wanted to change her story. Then she flew into a rage of accusations against me, even tried to threaten me physically, and stormed out of the room. I've learned that when you're dealing with a clear example of a narcissist, be very careful in how you share data with them about their deception. Had she been the strong, fit man, she would have beaten me rather than admit that she lied. Please, please, please be careful when confronting a narcissist with facts that run counter to their BS. Consider cutting off a liar who won't own their lies without any further discussion. They are dangerous when their BS gets exposed. If you can safely hold up the mirror of data, of evidence to see if they will own their lies, do so, but otherwise drive on. Don't risk it. Don't underestimate the lengths a narcissist will go to protect their false face. The final situation we'll discuss today is scenario number 5, smokescreen word salad. Squids do this thing where they create a smokescreen to hide their exit. So do narcissists, manipulators, and people cut out of that cloth. The smokescreen might be a 10-page response that would make a politician blush from the BS. With more academically oriented manipulators, responding to a simple question like, "Why did you get home so late last night?" can turn into a dissertation on public transportation and the dynamics of groups. This manipulation tactic is meant to wear you out, to make your eyes glaze over with abundant information while hiding a core issue. I shared contradictions between witnesses of an event that a friend wanted to believe was true. I was letting him know why I didn't believe the event, especially given the clear contradictions of the witnesses to the event. What I got back from him was an astonishing 22-page explanation of why what I thought was a contradiction wasn't really a contradiction, because I didn't understand the historical context. That words can mean many things, and blah blah blah. 22 pages later, I was the problem, not the witness contradictions. 22 pages of academic gaslighting was meant to confuse me enough to stay open to the event in question being true. What do you say in the face of smokescreen information overwhelm? Truckers in a snowstorm know how to focus on the white line despite everything else. The white line is the data, the evidence that grounds the conversation to reality. When you're feeling like someone is gaslighting you with information overload, hold up the mirror. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with what you're saying. Then refer back to the white line, the evidence that grounds the conversation. I know that witness 1 said this, and it directly contradicts witness 2 and 3. Both can't be true. Remember that this manipulation tactic's win is that you stay as open to their BS as possible and back off of your clear evidence. Information overwhelm and fatigue can diminish your power with a manipulator. Would it surprise you to learn that information overwhelm and fatigue are techniques used by police to get people to confess to crimes they didn't commit? The person knows they didn't do it, yet they get a lot of circumstantial evidence thrown in their face. Then they get a barrage of, "Isn't it possible that you've blocked this out?" Get back to the white line. I didn't do this. And I'm feeling tired and overwhelmed right now. I'd like a lawyer, or if you're not charging me, I'd like to leave. Saying this can save you from a wrongful conviction, stealing years away from your life. Okay, my friends. Today we have explored 5 common situations in which manipulators show their faces and how to navigate them. Don't let a manipulator steal your time, money, or your life. Don't let your own politeness or need for approval take priority when you sense a manipulator is working on you. Thanks for joining us today at the Change Capability Institute.